there's like my perspective from the sideline is important, obviously, and like getting to see everyone is important. But like your perspective as the guys that are actually running around and dealing with this crap is almost more important in some cases. And so like where I think part of the reason I don't have Jeff down here is that outside of the forwards, where I think we're already pretty well manned, I think there's a case of like Jeff has qualities that we can use anywhere on the field. And so like hearing from you guys where you think an extra man, an extra body will be useful. All right, let's go through this. And we can talk about the position groups and things as we go through and just sort of like the positions and how they work. The big change from last time that you guys hadn't seen yet is that we are kind of moving into a back three. We have played two really tricky teams. Yo, what's up, Christine? To start off with. Um, and I don't expect the path forward will be quite as tricky as it has been, but it will still be difficult. So there's two things going on here with moving to a back three. The primary thing that we're trying to do is put an extra man in defense so that we can, like we've been working a lot in the practices in the last couple of days, really shorten up these distances between these central defenders, make sure we're presenting like a nice compact block, when they reach our back line. And then again, just like I think this has really done a good job in terms of communication and things like that. You guys have been talking more as you're trying to like make sure you're not moving these spaces too far apart. The other thing that's different here is that we're going with a three in midfield. So we've been using like a 4-2-3-1 base, or kind of like almost like a 4-4-2 at times. But we're gonna just throw that in the trash. The way we're gonna run the midfield is to have a singular six. Pat Carroll ended in this position against the most recent team that we played, and he was very game for continuing to do that. I think that putting his athleticism there is not the worst idea in the world. So I like that idea. Max Miller is an obvious other six that we can use in that kind of position. And again, if I starter or like second or whatever I have you down as here, that is not me assessing your ability. And I'm not trying to put out the best possible team we can put out at the start. I'm trying to make sure that we have people on the bench that we can use as well. And then, okay, so this is where it gets a little bit complicated. So in the last few weeks, we played with the back four. I think sometimes that's led to our fullbacks both going at the same time and getting a little bit overmanned out in the wide spaces, which is going to happen. So this is a back five, but the way I have drawn up is that the wing back on the left is the player who is going to look to go forward more often. The player on the right is going to look to play more conservatively more often. This may change if we suddenly, if we have personnel changes that precipitate that we can do a higher wing back on this side. But in general, the idea is that we force the wing back higher on the left side to complement that and to balance the attack a little bit more. This wide forward here would play more out here rather than kind of hogging this central space. So the target man as our striker would kind of be trying to hold more of the central space, be trying to play balls through. The wide forward would have the remit to kind of come out and cover this space that the elbow back is not covering. The wing back, on the other hand, would be coming up into this space. So when we get into, yes, real.
So the right back is staying back.
Right back would stay further back.
Drop
so as we move up the field, let's say, we could end up, so our target man is a little further forward. Our wide forward is coming out here a little more. These two guys are stepping up as well. Our wing back steps up. And we end up in this sort of,
rotate like that.
We almost end up in this sort of like 4-1-4-1 shape, just like we were. Not going to be like a perfect shape because, again, this wide forward is starting more central. So they may end up like here or something like that. It's okay if things end up lopsided. It is kind of my point. Like, it's all right if we kind of shift and we end up, with this formation slightly wonky, as some big players only want them to be. So again, the elbow back here, thinking about being conservative, we almost end up in this like back four. If the ball starts coming down this side towards us, wing back drops back in. This is where obviously, with my six done, here he is. If the wing back's dropping back in and the ball is coming down this way, we need the six to cover this side. right? If the ball is coming back down this way, in theory, we already have, the elbow back out here to come in and help out. So we end up back after the other team have had the ball for a little bit longer, sort of in that back three as Finn comes back down. So here's what I'm thinking with this position. And I actually kind of think I might move Joel here too. But this person, their job, like obviously all we talked about a lot in the last week is like running vertically beyond the line. My expectation with this position, why I've written 8-10 rather than just like 8, is that this person is constantly running beyond the target man. And that's their primary job, is to like when we have the ball, keep making runs beyond the target man, right? So that if the ball comes into Buzz, he can flick it through around the corner as quickly as possible. Yeah.
It may be helpful to remind whoever plays the 6 to stay kind of close to the center backs. Because whenever we did push up the field, the defense lost the midfield when they counter.
Yes.
Yeah, that triangle needs to hold.
So if we can just remind whoever plays the 6, like, just stay right in front of 3 center backs.
Yes.
Maybe at the top of the circle.
Yeah.
Wherever we are up the field.
I think one other thing you can do if we have the ball for quite a while, rather than like the elbow back, like sliding in and we're thinking a 4, you could have them come inside a little bit more and play with this 6. Like, and then when we go back to defend, then they can go back out and join the shift again. But you could have them come on in for like that passing segment.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if we have Max there, like in terms of like holding position, like he wants you talking to him.
Yeah.
So like Zach, if you're in there, like literally just keep telling him like to hold like that triangle. Like, you guys can't hear each other. That like just yell at him and he will immediately hear.
That actually makes sense. Sorry, I was Zach. I know you were.
That's what I felt like I had to do a few times.
Zach, I know you were also just talking about kind of like when we don't have the ball here, but I think that actually makes a lot of sense in terms of like the movement in that, like rather than moving into the, I was suggesting we move into like a 4-1-4-1, but you could almost move like just move the, like let's say we have the ball and we're possessing it for a while again, have that elbow back come in, have the wide forward go out here, you've got your 2-8s, wing back pushes up, and you almost end up in this like nice solid base of like a 3-2. So if the ball does turn over quickly, we've at least got this solid block sitting right here in the middle of the field. But yeah, so we're kind of thinking like maybe Jeff here, because actually I don't mind having, like, I think it's a little bit of a shame to not have Finn and Jeff both in the lineup at the same time. But I also think, again, you don't want all of your best players on right at the same time. And this position is going to be so crucial to how we want to play. Like we want to attack down the left side when we get the ball back is my thought. Or, we want to attack in the wide area. So hence throwing out an extra player out here and pushing an extra player up here. But if we put Jeff in behind them, we know that we're getting production and legs out of that position and we're covering. Yeah. So, okay. I wish we had one more center back. But I think that's the nice thing about Waleed is that he can play there as well.
Buzz wants to play center back.
Buzz wants to play center back.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. He wants to play outside mid, wants to run a lot.
The
I'll play some outside minutes.
the